What's going on there, folks? Good evening. It is the Earthmaster here on this beautiful Monday, March 7th evening. 2022 is the date, about 7:01 p.m. California time here along the West Coast. Latest earthquake shows a 2.3 earthquake coming into the area around the, looks like the Middle East area. Not for sure why these smaller ones are coming in, but keep forgetting to reset that. Latest quake, 2.3 on the globe. Quite a bit of earthquake uptake around the Middle East and areas to the west around the Mediterranean Sea. Let's go ahead and check out this latest movement here on the USGS map here. Real quick, stand by for a second here. A little disorganized, but it's all good, right? Better disorganized than never ever prepared. I want to go in first, though, into California, where we're seeing kind of a little bit of swarm of activity around the Bodie Hills. Now, this is all past volcanic activity here. We've seen a little bit of activity ramp up here within the last 24 hours, and it's all been above 2.5 for the magnitudes, including a 3.5 earlier in the day and two subsequent 2.8s in this region. Let's go ahead and bring up the all magnitudes here, see what we got for the mix of the smaller quakes. Looks like a little small earthquake just to the north of the Bodie Hills region, or actually north of the of this area that we're seeing the movement at, 0.9 at 0 kilometers. Got to remember, this is all past historical volcanic fields here in this Bodie area, Mono Valley, Mono Lake area, all volcanic in nature. And a lot of this movement here around 9 to 10 kilometers. So a lot of this activity could be not only, I don't think it's volcanic in nature, but I believe it is plate tectonic under stress movement here along the North American plate. A lot of times these lava tubes and whatnot, magma chambers do leave, you know, kind of holes, if you will, if you picture in your mind spaces in the earth out there when it comes to the volcanic activity or the earthquake activity. This could be exactly what we're seeing here with that movement, the subsequent earthquake activity in the lack of, I guess, if you will, the chambers of the magma. So it's kind of I haven't seen too much movement here in this area recently. Over the past 7 days, of course, this activity just struck up here today. It's something to watch, obviously. Long Valley supervolcano and obvious current volcanic activity continues down in this region of the state further south. But it's definitely something to watch here in the Bodie Hills area. There's a wealth of information when it comes to the volcanic field there in the Bodie Hills. I'll leave this publication, see if I can spit it out, publication here from the USGS itself on the Bodie Hills volcanic field of California and Nevada, long-lived eruptive center in the southern segment of the ancestral Cascades Arc. It's pretty cool reading. I'm not going to go through and read all of this, but I will provide the link for you guys in the description below the video, so check it out if you like reading this type of stuff as far as past historical volcanic activity goes. Further down south, Long Valley supervolcano, there is some movement, a little bit of quakeage going on there, just 2 microquakes here south of the Tom's Place area, just outside the Long Valley supervolcano region. Just some very small quakes, and the Ridgecrest area, some microquakes kicking up there as well in that region of the state. Southern part of the area of California looks pretty, looks a little spotty. We're only looking at 20 earthquakes or so entirely on the all magnitudes map here of the all earthquakes in the Southern California region. That's a little spotty. Not a whole lot of movement going on there today in the Southern California region. No major swarm to take note. Up here in the Diablo Range and the southern or the central part of the San Andreas Fault, the creeping section, if you will, seeing a little swarm across the region there near Coalinga and areas to the west. Some 2s and 1s kicking off here in this area. That's a little migration of quakes there. Movement kind of stretching up into the Calaveras Fault zone near San Leandro and north of San Jose. Some microquakes kicking up there in the region. Nothing spectacular, but there's definitely some earthquake activity ramping up there today. Antelope Valley area as well. Southern end of it looks like a little bit of microquakes in the 1 and lower range. Northern California, there's not a whole lot going on. We've got one little earthquake here outside of Mount Lassen. Of course, Mount Lassen Peak sits right about here within about half a mile or so of this current earthquake, 1.6 at 3.5 kilometers into the Lassen Volcanic National Park there. I don't believe anything to worry about. We do see some earthquake activity at any given time there at the volcanoes. Just one little earthquake, nothing to be worried about. One quake way out here at the southern end of the Gorda Plate, the 2.8 from last night. Also up here in the Blanco Fracture Zone, where we've seen that swarm a couple months ago. A 3.3 kicked off here earlier this evening. And of course, this all got to do, folks. It's all got to do with the the back building of pressure here. Tremor map in the Cascadia has been kind of ramping up. Let's go ahead and check out the tremor tonight. Let's go ahead and bring this up. In the tremor map, we got 128 epicenters of tremor tonight. So this makes day number 6 of continuous tremor, and mostly into Northern California and the Oregon area. So subsequently, this is what we are expecting here. A little bit of back building of pressure, but ultimately building a pressure here along the locked area of the Cascadia subduction zone, the megathrust area, the one that will no doubt produce a significant 9.0 earthquake into the region here, or larger. They're estimating 9.0 magnitude earthquake back in 1700, but the full rupture here would definitely be devastating up and down the Northern California coastline northward through the Vancouver Island ranges. Excuse me. So no doubt 322 years since that last major full rupture. It's only a matter of time before that thing decides to pop again. Are you prepared? I know I am, that's for sure. If you're up here in the Pacific Northwest, Northern California like I am, you have to be prepared. You definitely got to. Some activity south of Portland as well. This earthquake right here outside of Salem, 13.6 kilometers near Scott Mills, Oregon. And some activity up into the Washington region. But yeah, tremor activity mostly confined in Northern California. But this does make, I kind of wanted to show you guys the map here. Since about Monday, we got, what do we got for a total tally here of earthquakes, or at least tremors? Almost 1,000 tremors since Monday. So we're looking at a week-long period of uptick in tremor, mostly along the southern end of the Cascadia, into Northern California and Southern Oregon. A little bit of tremor activity up here into the Northern Oregon area outside of Portland. This would be the center part of the Cascadia subduction zone, but most of it definitely into the southern end. And subsequently, like I said before, this actually when this started getting started, I said we should expect some movement back building up here in this area, and that's kind of what we're seeing. Although I'm really surprised here of the lack of activity closer to the Cascadia subduction zone. It's just not a whole lot here in the Northern California. It's more westward. And don't believe when they say that this activity out here is not associated with the Cascadia, because it is. Yes, these plate boundaries and different fracture zones have differential specifics when it comes to their plate movement, but ultimately it's got everything to do with the activity here entirely on the North American plate and the Juan de Fuca plate interaction. That's 100% fact. Cascadia, or Alaska region, looks pretty active tonight. Typical, though, in the Alaska region of the subduction zone. Getting a little swarm of movement here along the Aleutian Islands. Looks like a couple fours kicking off here over the course of the evening, and some threes as well. Got to watch this area pretty closely. High accumulated stress region when it comes to the slip rate in that area of the Pacific and North American subduction zone. Also some activity up here earlier today off the coast of Japan into the Kuril Kamchatka and Japan Trench here. All seeing some fours kick up in that area over the course of the day. Excuse me. Goodness. I don't know if it's allergies or what's kicking up here, but kind of been messing with me lately. Indonesia region, some deeper movement across the area, including a 5.3 up north, 56 kilometers, and some deeper activity as well. This 4.3 from earlier in Alaska. I haven't seen any subsequent movement here. Didn't get a chance to check out the historical data that we have been seeing around the Tennant Creek area. I will look into that a little bit more tomorrow. Tonga Trench, 6.1, of course, from last night. That super deep earthquake, about ready to drop off the globe. Since then, we've only seen about a 5.2 and a 4.5 further south into the region. I want to go ahead and check out the latest data here from the GeoNet servers. Excuse me. Which does show a 4.0 near the Milford Sound area, South Island, New Zealand, about 9 hours ago at a depth of about 5 kilometers. It's further south here into the region. A couple earthquakes there from back in February. This map here is just a little hard to read when it comes to the specifics and the date and time and whatnot. And some of this earthquake activity disappears off of the map, so not 100% a fan of the GeoNet organization here, but definitely showing some activity over the last couple hours. Some movement in the northern end, North Island area. USGS not showing anything on the area for the 4.0 and above map. 5.1 South Sandwich Islands area earlier today as well, into the subduction zone there, 35 kilometers. South America, though, look at that, pretty quiet. We have been seeing quite a few 3s and 2s in that area with the EMSC model. We'll go ahead and check these folks out here real quick into the region of the South America area. Although here on the map they're showing a couple 4s up and down the board, while the USGS definitely not showing any of that 4 magnitude earthquake. So, but there's the 3s, obvious typical movement along the subduction zone. Quite a few 3s in the area, and the Middle America Trench as well, showing that earthquake activity. Some 3s in the South Island of New Zealand as well, and up here in the northern area. Looks like earlier today and this morning seen some 3s kicking off in that region. Do see a 5.2 earthquake. I think we've seen that on the USGS map, right? Double check that. 5.2. Yep. That one was just into the Kermadec Islands area at 35 kilometers. Let's go ahead and check out Hawaii, the big island. What do we got out here for the all magnitudes map? 25 earthquakes. Kind of wimpy when it comes to the amount of earthquakes here tonight. Latest quake 2.0 at 36 kilometers. Nothing major going on at Mauna Loa or the Kilauea volcano or Mauna Kea. All areas to the north look pretty quiet tonight in the terms of earthquake activity. Let's go ahead and work our way to China. Some movement, 4.8 in China, and up here around the Mongolia area. Russia border, 4.0. And some activity over here around the Iran area, 4.7. Did see a little bit of movement up here around the Jan-Mayen area. This area did see a little bit of swarming last month. I don't know. Let me see if it'll pick it up here with the 30 days map. Yeah, there it is. Actually picked it up here. So it's been about 30 days in that area where we've seen quite a bit of swarming uptick, but also a 5.7. So these could definitely be aftershock sequences there following that earthquake earlier back in February 2004. 2/14. We're looking at Valentine's Day back in February. So activity continues there. Aftershock sequences. What do we got for the Puerto Rico area? All magnitudes. Not a whole lot going on. Looks about the same as earlier in the update. Not a whole lot of renewed movement. Eastern part of the country up here in the States, getting the New Madrid zone up here, showing some activity at 1.3 near the Wrigley, Tennessee area. 8.8 kilometers into the northern end of the New Madrid zone. Also just to the northwest as well, a 2.0 near the Cherokee Pass in Missouri. So this area, no doubt, definitely building up stress here, just not super high accumulated slip rate. Oklahoma, near Alex, Oklahoma. Never really heard of that area. 7.7 kilometers for that 2.0. And movement outside of the Pecos, Texas area. This time to the north around Odessa and Midland. Big Spring area. Some activity kicking up here in the oil fields. 2.7 at 7.6 kilometers, folks. Do we want to jump in here and check out the satellite view? Yes, no, maybe so. Well, why not? Why not check out these thousands of oil fields out here? Okay, you guys ready? Look at this. Looks pretty cool, right? Flying at 30,000 feet or so. I remember flying out here. Well, I fly out to Texas a couple times a year, but I remember flying over this area, looking at all of this activity, thinking, man, that's a lot of farmhouses down there. That's a lot. That's a big city. But if you know what you're looking at, if you want to look closer, these are not farmhouses and these are not communities. These are oil and pumping operations, injection wells. And I'm really surprised we haven't seen a major uptick in earthquake activity. But they look fairly new. Give it time. Give it a year or so, and we'll see this area light up some 4s and maybe even some lower 5s with this amount of operations going on out here. There's thousands of oil and pumping operations out here. I get it. You got to make money, right? But man, expect those earthquakes to come in. That's a given. Go back to the terrain view. Yellowstone. What do we got for Yellowstone? Let's go ahead and check them out real quick into the area. Of course, that 6-pointer there from the Fiji earthquake. About ready to disappear off the 24-hour map. Not a whole lot of significant movement here at Yellowstone right now. There's definitely some quake activity or ice quake activity over the last 24 hours. It's all those spiky movements there. And also around the Promontory area down here, you've seen that activity kick up as well. But any plate tectonic major swarming activity, negative. Not a whole lot going on here in this region of Yellowstone for now. Go ahead and check out Earthquakes Canada map here. We'd like to check these guys out nightly as we remember anyway. Northern end of the Cascadia up here off the coast of the village of Queen Charlotte area. Some movement here in the red circles. A couple small microquakes over the last day today in the red circles. And also up to the north around Alaska area. As far as any specific movement throughout Canada. A little bit of activity out here in the Quebec region. Looks like, yeah, what do we got here? A little red circle, 1.5. In that area today, but no major movement to take note in the area of Canada. Solar weather activity. I know we got these sunspots growing. I'm kind of looking forward to this, seeing what they're going to produce here. Of course, it looks like activity. Looking at this map here, it looks like they dropped everything down in terms of the flaring. They're growing. But man, you can have a massive sunspot. But if you have stable conditions, they're not going to do nothing, right? They're just kind of sitting there eyeballing us. Kind of similar to these two eyeballs that were up here in the northern hemisphere of the sun a few days ago. They're long gone, but man, we need the dynamics here to produce a significant flare, and right now they're not looking likely. There's some activity, of course, like I said, rounding the bend here, but the dynamics do not call for any major flaring at the time. 80% chance of C flare, 15% chance of an M flare with an X flare percent at 1% chance. The global D layer absorption map showing, well, looks like right over the Australia area for now. There's a little bit of, oh, what's the word here? A lot of people tend to look at this map when it comes to possibly predicting earthquake activity, but I can't really say that 100% certainty that that's actual a fact when it comes to predicting earthquakes, because I've seen this thing light up like crazy and no earthquakes. But we had earthquake activity earlier today in Australia, and it's kind of right over that area where that 4.3 is, just to the north. But something to watch, something to monitor. So yeah, solar wind. What do we got for the 3-day? Green for now, but this can always change. Okay, don't ever count on these green boards because they can change in a blink of an eye. All right, folks, I'm gonna jump off here. Continue my barbecue outside. Got a tri-tip on the barbecue tonight. I know it kind of seems like I'm barbecuing every night, but that's probably because I am. That's kind of how I cook my dinner out here. And I'm sure Missy Mimi's will probably cook something else along with that tri-tip. But for now, I hope everyone has a good night and stay safe out there. Live stream has been running successful and good. I'm kind of watching the data and watching the incoming outgoing connections and monitoring stuff that may be trying to connect to remote sources. So if you're watching and if you're wondering why the live stream's been going down, it's probably because of the remote sources out there. I'm getting some computer resets lately, but we're putting a damper on their operations as far as bringing this channel down. It's just not going to happen. Definitely monitoring and keeping a log of people trying to. That's okay, right? DOS attacks, they still exist to this date. Denial of service attacks, right? And also buffering overloads and whatnot when it comes to different ports that certain systems operate on. I'm not going to go into specifics, but we're watching it. We know about it. We see you out there. So if you are watching this channel, we got you. No worries. All right, folks. What do we got? What do we got? Puerto Rico here. Did we cover Puerto Rico? There's a 3.8 just coming into the Haiti area right now. It looks like they did see a 4.1 earlier. So little. If you look at the globe here, we got scattered activity everywhere across the globe right now. There's not any one specific location to watch. It's just kind of all shuffling up following that deep movement last night. But no doubt areas. I'm sure there'll be some hotspot areas here pretty soon, but right now they're all over the place. So, all right, folks, have a good night. Stay safe out there. We will chat you guys very, very soon, and I appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a good night, everyone. Peace out.